We are excited to have Nichino America as our title sponsor for 2026. Nichino is driven by ingenuity and R&D, bringing innovative chemistry that works. They back every product with a customer-focused expert who knows your field and is ready to help. Stop guessing and find solutions today at www.nichino.net. Thanks again for Nichino for sponsoring the show and this episode of the Specialty Cropcast.
Welcome to the Specialty Cropcast on Pomes and Stones. Join us for real conversations with farmers, agribusiness owners, and industry experts as we dive into farming, products, and the business of agriculture, all from the people who know it best.
All right, everybody, welcome back.
Welcome back.
We're here again in the all new and improved Nichino Studios. Every time we're on, we make a new improvement.
Little improvement.
Changes a little bit. We're just tweaking it. Here. All right, we got a great episode ahead of you guys here today. We are focusing a little more on what to do when your orchards or bushes or your land needs to be kind of reverted or do a little hard reset on what you have going on. So we have Leon Miller in from Brush Tamer to help us learn a little bit more about his business. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your operation.
I'm Leon Miller from Napanee, Indiana. We business is based out of Plymouth, Indiana, but we do a lot of work from Holland to all the way down to Indiana. We do reach out further up this way as well. If somebody has has a special thing that they want done or whatever, we do come further. We do go further, and we do travel a little bit more. So.
Gotcha. Nice. So how do you get into this business? What kind of led you to kind
of what led me into it was we were we were doing food plot clearing, and we were always, back in the day, we were running a disc across it, and you'd run a disc across something that you just cleared, then you're not going to run the disc over that very many times until it starts falling apart, and there goes this and there goes that, and and it was just, there's got to be something out there that can withstand that and to make that we're able to plant. And that's where I got to start looking, and then it turned into finding that machine, and then it was 2 years later. So we started Tag Out Technique, and that's what we do, wildlife habitat with Tag Out Technique, and that's what got me into this part. So,
Gotcha.
What equipment are you guys using?
So we run a Fendt 1050 and use a FAE, the SFH HP. It's a multitask, goes into the ground, can go up to 12, 16 inches.
Down into the soil.
Some people call it it's not a tiller, but it's a tiller on steroids.
Right.
They call it a mat.
FAE has something more popular that probably some people are a little more familiar with, which is like a brush grinder you'd see on the front of a skid steer that really does a good job of grinding everything up above ground. But as many people know, once you run one, you start putting that down into the dirt and you're getting into some rocks or some bigger stuff. They don't really like it very much, and it's real easy to chip up those teeth. So what Leon has here, I think the first time I saw it was at the Great Lakes Fruit and Veg Expo a couple years back. I think you had the tractor there in the show. And I was blown away at just the size of it. I mean, it's an impressive unit to be able to go down, and then to be able to go down that deep. And like you're saying, I mean, for you, if you're specializing in blueberry bushes, then you're probably getting the entire plant in one easy pass, all the way down into dirt that you're ready to start working.
Nice.
Yes. We do on that, you were saying about the one pass. We do on the big bushes, the big jerseys, the one that everybody's taking out currently. We do 2 passes on those because it would high center the tractor. Yeah. And so I have a belly pan on it, but once you're putting that much weight on top of a belly pan, that ain't very good. Right. So that's why we changed some stuff. We run it over the top and run it over and then go in ground.
Nice.
So what's more of the popular jobs that you run into with that? Is it more helping out farmers, or is it more woodlot, edge of woods, or land reclamation?
So most of it in the past has been blueberries. We're seeing a little bit of a shift. We're looking more into other crop species. We've always done wood clearing for food plots, stuff like that. We've always done that, but the main gig has been blueberries. Going in and clearing big acreage to small acreage. It doesn't. I mean, just depends on what they have.
So, walk us through what it kind of looks like when you first show up to a new blueberry farm and you're kind of quoting out a job. What kind of things do you look at as far as the size of the plant, the acreage, or is it the maturity? Does any of that make a difference in the difficulty to complete the job, or the wear and tear on the machine?
Yes, and no. The biggest thing when we go in and look at the project is are they big jerseys? Are they the jerseys that are 80 plus years old, like that are just the crowns are sticking this far out of the ground, and it's going to be a pain. Those, and then we build a system to where you can put in the acreage. You can put in the acreage, and you can pretty much, it tells you that once you get into a certain acreage, then it goes cheaper. When you're doing 3 acres, it's going to be more expensive. Mm-hmm. We got to get the equipment there.
Down a little bit. And that's all available on your website. I did look through your guys' website a little bit, and you have a real nice job. You have everything nice and laid out on what you guys offer.
We don't have the pricing on the website. The main thing is because there's different things that we get into on that. But if somebody calls me on a blueberry field and they want to explain, I'll usually go out and look at it, because we've had too many times that I've been had that tractor sunk. That ain't very fun.
Yeah, oh, I bet.
So it's worth the trip out there to look at it.
Right.
Say that area there. If you really want that area done, that's gonna be, if I get stuck, we're either splitting the bill.
Bill.
Yeah.
To get it out. So what are the biggest challenges that you face taking out a blueberry patch?
Probably the wet spots.
Just the wet spots? You got some big tires on that machine.
Right? In blueberry plantings, right?
Yeah, wet spots. I mean, we've done this past year, we've done some areas that we've actually went from the side and went all the way through and cleared out a path. And I've got some pictures for you guys on that. That it's that they want to be able to get in there so they can get a tractor in to pull the harvester through or something like that. But it's wet spots.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough for any equipment, but you got some big tires on that tractor. It doesn't float that well, or
it does.
It
does, but when you go through, when you push it too hard,
right,
push it over its limits, that's where it.
Well, everyone's been where you're like, I can go a little bit further, and I'll be all right, and then you get there just a touch too far, and then you're to the point of no return.
It doesn't help that the machine on the back weighs 16,500 pounds.
That's a heavy machine.
So that usually gets you in trouble.
I got to see what this thing looks like.
Yeah, me too.
You want to put some pictures back up there?
Yeah. Sounds impressive.
He's got his, you guys haven't seen it?
No.
Oh my gosh. It's sweet.
So there we're working on a stump. Actually, we're doing a pretty big stump. I was clearing out a food plot there, and I was grinding out stumps at the same time. So
I've used this piece of equipment on Farming Simulator. Swear to God. Swear to God.
I'm assuming it takes the trees down a little bit quicker.
Yes, it's unrealistic, but I didn't even think it existed. I thought it was just some crazy thing, but this is awesome.
No, it's super impressive, and what's different is that it can actually go so deep into the ground, which I'm assuming is why this system is great for like a proper removal of a blueberry bush, because it gets everything in one pass, right? Because if you go out with a machine, you could try and rip it out, but you're probably leaving roots in the ground. Then you got to pay people to go back out and pick it. But it kind of seems like this tool just melts everything that it touches.
Yeah,
a couple feet down. Yeah, look at the size of that tractor. How many horsepower is that rig?
That thing is 517 horse.
Wow. Look how fast is that going? What's your mile per hour?
That's cruising.
Well, depends if Zach's driving or if I'm driving. So Zach runs it normally. He can, depending on the size of the bushes, we can run up to 7-8 miles an hour. I've run more than that, but and sometimes if we have the big crowns, then we'll have to slow down quite a bit.
So this clip here shows the first pass, and then you'll come down and do the subsoiling pass immediately after that.
Gotcha.
Or do you typically go through and do that entire pass first, and then come through, or do you do the above ground then do the below ground?
So normally it's the above ground and then the in ground. If we have younger bushes and the crowns are just like they're younger bushes, we'll just make a single pass over the top of them.
So describe the process for us here for the people that are watching.
So the process of this whole thing is if you guys call us, hey, I've got a project, we come out, we look at the project, we see it. Most of the time we'll get you an estimate pretty quick, and then we go to, like, if they accept the contract, we'll put it on the schedule and get out to you. And if we're doing blueberries like this, we'll run the tops off of everything, and then swap the mulching heads, come back with the in-ground mulcher, and mulch everything. And then after we do the in-ground, there are times that we have customers that want everything disked. We also have discs available that we can unhook, take the disc over it. Looks like a farm field. We've done some pretty big tracks, 80, 90 acre tracks where we cleared it, disked it, and they planted it right that year.
Wow. What kind of time frame does it take to do a 80 acre field like that?
80 acre field, I think that one took us a little over about right at a month.
Gotcha.
And but we were dealing with snow back then too, so that also made a difference. So
does it bust through the frost pretty easily?
Yeah, no, we can freeze anything like that. We can do it usually pretty easy, pretty good.
I would imagine.
Could you use something like that over cherry tree stumps?
Yes, we could use it over stumps, stuff like that. I've done it to where we've backed over them and then come down that same row, come back forward. The biggest thing is those things have slip clutches in them, and so if you're going too fast and you hit a big stump and it'll run those slip clutches and it'll burn those up, and then you have to tear them apart. Put new.
A little bit of work in them, but
yeah.
But it looks like a good way you could go in and clear out an orchard without having to disturb the sod in between the rows, so you wouldn't have to work a whole field to start over.
Yes, there are people that will go in and it's good enough for them. So if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for me, and they'll go in and they'll plant blueberry bushes right in behind it.
Yep.
To me, I'd probably till it, once or twice again, but hey, if they're happy with it, they're happy with it.
The customer's always right.
The customer is always right.
That's the truth.
That's very true. Wow. That's real interesting, though, that people will go ahead and plant right behind it like that. But, hey, if it works, it works. It looks like it does a real nice job. I like the last shot you had up there that had you guys going over a bush. It had just the first pass, and then it had the subsoil pass. So you could really see all of the progression in one shot. So you can really see kind of what you're getting.
Yeah, like that.
So what's the piece doing behind it that's on the cylinders? Is that leveling the ground up? Or?
That is putting pressure, leveling it out and putting pressure on it. That way. So the biggest mistake is that we've found is if we go through and we do all the in-ground subsoiling, if it rains a lot on that and you are in usually sandy stuff, you're fine. But if you're in black dirt or anything like that or clay, you want to get it tilled or worked up pretty quick right after I'm done, because otherwise, if there's water sets in there, you're gonna drive your front end and you're gonna be going down.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like they do. I mean, obviously this project here, they have everything going pretty much right after it, and it looks gorgeous. That's some really nice looking dirt they have too.
Yeah, so this project here was actually we got called in. He didn't want to spend the guys that cleared it. It was all 10 acres of full woods that year. They went in, de-stumped it, and they didn't want to do all the cleanup. So he was like, hey, come out. Let's see what we can do. We've never ran it that fast. We ran it at over a mile an hour. Ran the top 5-6 inches. I said, hey, I'll try it. If you like it, we can do it that way.
So is that what you're doing right now then, is going through grinding up stumps and roots?
That
and
a
all
lot. No stumps were
No
in
stumps.
there. That was just running over the top, trying to get it moving pretty. We were moving pretty fast there, and just getting rid of all of the bigger, like the roots and stuff like that are in the ground.
Right. So they had stumped it with a machine, and they didn't want to deal with picking roots and all the little stuff. So they said, hey, why don't you just come in here and just blast this for us?
And it worked. I mean, it worked great. It worked great for both of us. And then you could see the farmer went back in and farmed right over it and put the planter in, and they were done. I mean,
that's a good way to maximize your acreage with less labor, especially with the cost of that going up these days.
Yeah.
So where do you think this goes for you guys in the future? Do you think you branch out a little bit, like you said, and you start doing some different crops and the business expands that way? Or do you think there's enough blueberry plants coming out that you guys have as much work as you need?
I think there should be more blueberry plants that should come out, but with the gall wasp and stuff like that. But what it costs to take out an acreage, and it's too much. If I don't have a reason to take out that 40 acres, there's no reason to take it out. There's no reason to spend that money to take it out. Mm-hmm. And so for that, I think we're looking at more other crops. We're looking at doing some other things as well. So we're not just depending on that. So we do wood lines and stuff like that for guys. And I mean, I've done that in the previous years. So it's something that we can easily do.
Something we always talk about on the show here is we get into people are getting rid of orchards, taking out plants, taking out trees, and then what happens afterward, right? So up here, it seems like at least right here across the street, we had a grower who took out a bunch of cherry trees, and everyone was wondering what he was going to do, right? Because this road that's here is prime real estate for a lot of people that want to get their hands on it. Excuse me. But he just leased it out to a row crop guy. So in your experience, what do you see the end use after you clear? Is it mostly farmers looking to replant, or is it people getting rid of bushes, but that land, maybe that farm had sold to somebody else and they're looking to develop it? What do you see in your guys' industry is what happens to the land after you guys do some clearing?
So I would say right now it's about half and half. It's about half and half on the guys that are doing the row crops. They're taking out the property, clearing it and putting it into farm ground because now it's worth more. If it's an orchard sitting across the street and they're not doing anything with it, well, if there ever is a for sale sign that goes on there, if it's all cleared and it's farm ground, it looks a lot more appealing to developers and guys that are buying it, guys that want to buy it. Then the other half is we have guys that are replanting, guys that are doing blueberry acreage at a high number. They're looking to replant. So we're taking out sometimes 10, sometimes 20, sometimes just depends on the acreage that they want to take out that year. And some guys, we don't do stuff for every other year. It just depends on but I would say about half and half on that. But a lot of row crops are going in and blueberries are coming out.
In place of that? Where's your most popular area that you do the most business in?
Right now, I would say between Holland and Covert.
So right down on the west side of the state here.
Yep.
You done any vineyards yet?
I've done a vineyard. Those are a pain, but those can be done. Yeah. Yes. So yes, we've done some vineyards.
Obviously, all the trellis systems ripped out before.
No, let's leave all the metal wire.
Right.
And then,
I didn't know if he did
and
part
we'll
of
have
that.
him deal with it.
I didn't know if he did that part of that project. Yeah.
But no, it's more, on the vineyards and a lot of that is just getting rid of the posts and making sure everything comes out on top there. And then, you can offset with a disc on that and should be good to go after them unless somebody really wants to spend money on running the subsoiler through it.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, so you were just saying you would just disc it straight in. This is what you've done. It didn't even have to do with the subsoiler. So if you guys go through and there are rocks and other debris that don't get chopped up, what do you do with that extra material? Are you guys responsible for taking care of that, or is that on the landowner based on byproduct that is left?
So I think you're talking about like the root balls at the end and stuff like that. Is that what you're talking about? So on that, most of the time, if we're there in certain situations, we will take care of it. But in most cases, it's the guy that has the has a couple of guys that work for him or whatever, go out there with a skid steer and pick them up, or tractor front end loader.
Right, they'll grab them.
Because it's just the stuff that comes to the end.
Right.
So
how does it deal with rocks?
Rocks, it's all right. Boulders, it's not. That was probably one of the biggest lessons that I had in that, because you can burn through 14 grand in a day if you're not careful.
Oh, I bet.
I mean, the teeth on it, I mean, yes, it can take rocks, but once you hit a boulder and the machine bounces, flattens all your heads out, and then that's just when it gets into pretty messy situation on that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because it's a bummer too. Because are you using any technology? Because I know people do. Don't they do like radar or lidar that you can scan over a field and you can detect larger rocks before now?
Yes, but most of them in my situation, they're all underneath. I can't see them. I can't see them. It's out in Ohio, over toward the Lake Erie side. That side over there usually. Yeah, that usually costs me quite a bit of money from going and doing those projects.
You charge those guys a little bit more money.
You have to. Yeah. I mean, it's just it's realistically when I will rather walk away from a job than it's just
equipment up.
Go tear the equipment up to where it's to the point that it's like you're not happy, I'm not happy, we're both like, I'm sorry, I can't. I mean, it's just when you're dealing with big boulders like that and my machine, it's just we got to figure out. I mean, we might be able to clear it a different way. We'll use different machinery, whatever. But in that situation, it's just not going to work.
Yeah. It's just a bummer too, because you never know where they're at until you
whack
hit them,
one,
until you smack them.
Oh yeah,
it's always very funny.
Well, I caught one last year fumigating, didn't see it, and ripped the cultipacker right off the back of the tractor.
But my favorite part is that I love watching it when you're like, you come back. You said you came back around and you looked out the window and you're like,
there was the cultipacker.
You're like, hey, that's supposed to be hooked up to the tractor.
You hate to see it.
Yeah, you hate to see it. Yes, that was the section I have here. So, on the podcast here, we like to joke around, and I don't even know how it became, but I just started saying it way too much. I started saying, you hate to see it.
Yeah.
And so anytime that there's an instance like this where Zach's working on something and he hits a rock so hard he loses something off the back of the tractor and doesn't notice it, I say, oh, you hate to see it. And so there's a new section that I put in here, and I didn't know if maybe you brought a little something, you hate to see it moment you'd like to share.
So, oh man, teeth are definitely, or then getting stuck. The first 3 years of starting that and was definitely it was pretty hard mentally. Like mentally when you get stuck and you're starting out and you got a $5,000 bill from the guys that pulled you out and then so there's definitely those moments of getting stuck, but the getting stuck part we've pretty much got that too. Zach's pretty careful on. He's the guy that says, Leon, let's just not. So if he says like let's not go in there, it's like you're probably right. Yeah. So I usually back away from it.
Are you like, I'm just gonna go a couple more feet, just see what happens? Like I could just, it doesn't look that bad.
That's happened a couple times, but it's actually it's one of those things that where there's in the blueberry fields where you're going through, they'll like have holes here and here, and they'll have water in them. The rest of the field's fine, but that area has water in them. So you're going through, and it's like you have to space it out just right that you can float through. You have to move the roller. You have to keep working it. and then you just crawl through, but you can't like. Don't breathe.
It'll make your butt pucker.
No, it'll make your butt pucker. So, but Zach has got pretty good on like getting through that because first you freeze. I mean, when you're going through that and it's like, oh, like I picked it up too fast. Well, you pick up that thing too fast, your tires go down.
Right.
Now I'm sitting on the root balls and it's like, well, shit, there I just screwed myself because I just went down further. But no, he's really good at getting through that.
Yeah, you got to be smooth with it when you're lifting stuff up out of the ground. It's just like in our nursery, we just run a rototiller, but for our irrigation, where the water comes up, where we connect our flat hose, you have to lift up over it, obviously, because it's just like a nylon hose. Mm-hmm. And if you lift that rototiller up out of the ground too fast, which is probably very similar to what you're doing, it just leaves a big old whoop. Mm-hmm. And sure, it's not that wet because it's pure sand, but it's like every time you go across that now when you're going to spray it or whatever, you just across every single spot. But if you lift it up slow,
you're fine.
You're much nicer.
You got to lift up slow. You got to. Because one, I mean, if you pull it up literally too fast, that will sometimes make a difference on whether you get stuck or not.
Right. If you're going to get into it today, what's something that you know now that you would tell yourself in the past? Hey, don't do these jobs.
Don't give your secrets away. Though.
Don't take that job.
Call the professional.
Yeah.
Don't give a secret away though, because I'm going to buy one of these and take over.
More power, absolutely more power. Because that was the first thing that somebody that people would always ask me. Well, aren't you worried about people coming in and buying one of these and going and doing these blueberry jobs? Oh, it's easy. Like that was always the first. You know what? Like that's fine. If you really want to go there and you want to try it, like more power to you because like mentally, it will and that's the you got to have people that can talk you through the hard times, people that mentors or somebody there that because you will go through times to where you would just want to hang up the hat and just be done and. So, and that's your financials will go down like that and then be down there and then you're just trying to get along and then you just believe in God. That's probably one of the biggest things.
I bet some jobs are so different. Either some can go very smooth and some can be absolutely disastrous and cost you way more money than what you make. And
you're correct on that. And if somebody's starting new into that is gauge the ones that will cost you the most headache and don't even touch them,
right?
Because they will get you and they'll cost you more than they're worth,
right? What I imagine though is like if you say, well, someone else could get into it. How many people need a 500 plus horsepower tractor that's in the specialty crop business, right? Sure, you have the big guys in the row crops.
I bought one.
You okay? There's want and need. There's a difference, but that's just not that necessary for what we do. Especially, I mean, most of our what do we need? Right around 100 horse max for the most part, unless we're doing some planting, or disking, whichever one has maybe 150, 200 horsepower tractor.
The same
but
thing with a 500 horsepower tractor.
Yeah, you can. You could get bigger implements and do it real quick.
Quicker.
Yeah, but then what we do with your extra time?
Relax.
No, you do other
more
jobs.
Podcasting.
Hey, that's the right answer.
So on that, but there are people that are. We also are a dealer. Like there's another company that I'm involved with that we're a dealer for those heads. So we've set up other heads. We've set up other heads for other people, stuff like that, and tell them. I can tell somebody all the do's and the don'ts of don't do this,
right.
Don't do that,
right.
And so. There's a guy over in Detroit that does land clearing for big projects and stuff like that. And he uses that for his operation. It works out well for him.
Do you get any complaints from neighbors or concerned parties about the environment, about running equipment that deep into the soil? I mean, do you get any fights with people? Do people stop by on the side of the road and want to take pictures?
They don't even know what he's doing, brother.
Yeah. Most of the time they don't even know that I'm in and out and gone before.
It's just farming.
Yeah.
But I'm not doing anything different than farming. That's the thing is like I'm not going because blueberries I'm not even going, I'll just go to the bottom of where the soil to where that plant grows because in some areas it's it'll be 3 inches deeper than it will be in other areas, but that's to where we we look and see where that's at and then go from there.
How many?
And frankly, you're doing it in less passes. You're going in, grinding everything, cleaning everything up. One or two passes where if we were going to go in, rip the bushes out, take the bushes out.
Yeah.
Then we disc it.
Then disc it. Yeah. I mean, we're making 4, 5, 6 passes through the field.
That's just with the tractor, and then paying guys to walk through and pick up the rocks and pick up the sticks.
Right. So Ranger's Blueberry Farm, he just Luke texted me the other day, and he was like, "How many gallons do you think you run clearing an acre of blueberries?" And I think I texted him back. I said probably in that 25 to 30 range in an acre of blueberries. And I mean, when I'm running in ground, we're running roughly 20 gallons an hour of fuel per hour.
It's got to be about wide open on that rig then, huh?
Oh, it's wide open. Yeah. It's wide open. But on that, so a lot of people when they want to rip out blueberry bushes, and it's instinct on, hey, I've got an excavator, I'm gonna rip out the bushes. They send their guy out, rip out the bushes. They've got all that dirt on those bushes. So when you can't pile them. When you pile them, then you can't burn them because there's all that dirt on there.
Too much dirt.
And so we've done it that they've been piled up, that like long rows they've been piled up, that we've had to go in and mulch it with the above ground mulcher. Well, that right there is, I mean, that costs pretty much the same thing that it does he was like, this guy was so frustrated that he was like, well, man, I ripped them all out. Well, I can't help you on that because they're ripped out already. Like, it's not, I've got to take my above ground head and mulch and get everything down. And so it's just the part of getting them out faster and cheaper. I mean, I've got, if somebody wants to call and ask us, I'll give you plenty of numbers of guys that have done it themselves that say never again.
Mm-hmm. Right. So I would imagine that there's sometimes a little bit of some sticker shock maybe that happens when people get your quote. But then when you talk about people who think they can do it themselves, then you have to go back through and pick everything up. You're like, oh, well, maybe in the long run it's just as cheap or even cheaper just to have you come through and do it and leave that nice final product than it is for them to think it's cheaper because they can do it themselves this way. But at the end of the day, the math has to math.
Yeah, I've got a couple guys that I can give you their number that have spent well over $3,000 on their per acreage, and that they wish they would have just called us and had us do it, but they he rented equipment, wanted to whatever, and it just didn't work.
Doesn't pencil out.
What's your guys' like base cost per acre? Do you have that? I mean, just like in general, like if someone just says, "Give me a ballpark," what's it basically going to cost to have
on a blueberry? It can be, depending on the size of the bushes, it can be anywhere from $1,000 an acre to $1,800 an acre.
Gotcha. And then hardwoods.
Hardwoods depends on what we're doing with the trees. If we're doing food plots, we do a lot of like put the trees to the side. I like so the biggest thing that I've seen on the, when we're doing woods and stuff like that is people go in, have timber, take 20 acres of timber out. They want to put a food plot in, 5 acres of it. And then they're just like, oh, well, I'm going to take out all the timber and everything. Well, if you go to pull out those stumps with the excavator and stuff like that, and you might have got $10,000 on that whole 20 acres. That's fine. I want all the trees in that area because I can come in with the excavator and I can just flip them out and just rip the stump and everything out, take the in-ground mulcher through and just be done with it. But that's the biggest thing that I've seen, unless you have some major hardwoods in there, walnuts and stuff that it's going to pay you to actually take those out, then 100% that makes sense. But if it's something that you're going to get $3,000 for that 5 acres of timber, it's going to cost you 10 to then take those stumps out.
Right.
So that's one of the biggest like things that I see that come in. You come into that area and it'll be cheaper because we took out the trees and everything. Well, if digging out that stump, and actually that video I showed you earlier, that was one of those jobs that had done that.
Is there anything that people get surprised about, or like a misconception when you show up, or what they think happens while you're grinding?
I've never really think that I've had that people like that are surprised on what we're doing or how we take them out, stuff like that. I mean, it's always, most of the people are like, okay, so they got an estimate, you send them a picture of the tractor and stuff like that. This is how we do it. They see the videos, and so it's like they can understand why it's that per acre and stuff like that. And it's not even, I'm in the area of, on price wise, to what they were taking them out back in the day. So I think I've gotten it to the point to where it's I'm fair across the board on that, and to where putting those pieces of equipment together and making that work is the most cheap and efficient way to do it.
Did you see somebody with a similar setup that you came into it, or you just had an idea and you said, let's send it?
Yeah, what got you started to want to go out and grind blueberry bushes? And
so I knew there was I heard through somebody else that there was going to be a need of taking out bushes and stuff like that, and so I was probably a little bit of the crazy side that was kicking in the adrenaline. So
nothing like a huge tractor running wide open,
and it wasn't like I just had the cash sitting there to pay for it.
Oh yeah.
So, but no, it was one of those. It's a need. There's nobody. When I went to look at one of these machines running, I had to go to Minnesota. I had to drive 14 hours to see a machine like this running. Mm-hmm. So my wife and I was girlfriend back in the day, took off, drove up there, turned around, came back. So we drove all the way up Minnesota, seen that guy, seen it running. We were like, you know what? I think we can make this work back home, because there was no other one around. There's no other piece of equipment that's around like that.
Right.
Yeah,
I've never seen it.
You never seen anything like that,
except for Farm Sim.
Farming Sim,
right?
Farm Simulator.
I don't even play Farming Simulator. I don't think I've ever played Farming Simulator.
You gotta get on it.
I've got too much other things.
You could get him
man.
the map with the most trees, and it's
Yeah.
like some people farm. He's just like, no, I'm just clearing everything.
Yep.
It would just be a flat map afterward, nothing on it. So what's next?
It makes this whole idea though makes a ton of sense.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you want to return organic matter to the soil, right? Mm-hmm. The best way they say to do that is wood chips and things like that break down over time. So the fact that you're just going in and grinding up all the wood back into the soil, of course those wood chips got to break down and that takes time, but you're returning that organic matter back into the soil. So I think that's what's really cool.
I wonder if there's anybody does any kind of studies where they're like, well, let's look at the first years of yields right after doing something like that compared to just a plot of land that's being continually farmed.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you one thing. You just take common sense for an example, and you take a couple inches of topsoil. If you only have a couple inches of topsoil and you take a bulldozer to scrape off that top to clean up that top, you're gonna have most of that. You're gonna have pushed onto a pile. You're gonna have that pushed to the side, and that's not gonna be worth anything.
Well, even ripping the bushes out, like you said, and there's that big dirt ball.
You're pulling that
right out, and then
that's gone. You're taking that dirt. You're taking that dirt away from it. Now you don't even. But even go back to like say a wooded lot. Let's go back to a wooded lot. Yep. So if I even do that on a wooded lot, you're scraping all that off like the way that a lot of people do it now, and that's fine. I mean, if people can get by with it, I'm not. It's an extra step. It's an extra cost, 100%. But it's something that's available. But if you can take that, let's say that 6 inches of topsoil, and it's all mulched up like you guys seen, now I can push that off, throw it in a dump truck, take it to the yard. It's within whatever short amount of time, that topsoil is good to go back out and go to wherever it needs to be. It's not all these long pieces of stuff and everything else.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, makes sense.
So what's next for you guys? Do you have any big projects coming up this year that you're excited for? Are there any upgrades you can do to the machine? You get a bigger machine. What about a 9RX? Or is it just not versatile enough?
it's you've got it. So we do some driving. We do quite a bit of driving. Okay. So that was one of the things that when I went to put both of the pieces together, it was about being able to get around, being able to transport it, doing all that stuff, and what tractor fits best. You said the 9RX. I'm not even sure I would go with a 9RX in just buying a John Deere in general, because of when you don't, down where I'm at, if you don't have quite a few new John Deere tractors, you're nobody. I mean, right. That's just, and I think that's where John Deere is losing some of the market. Like that, I think that's Fendt is making quite a bit of AGCO itself is making quite a bit of a difference in that.
What about like those Kloss tractors, right, where the cab turns around? Right? Have you seen those? I'm sure you've looked into them. And I'm not trying to sell your intelligence, but I saw you going backwards over the blueberry bushes, and so that's why I was like, well, if you didn't have to turn around and do this,
it's got to be tough on the neck.
The next thing would be a turnaround cab and a Fendt.
Yeah.
Gotcha. No, we looked at the Kloss. The Kloss was one of the ones that, but we didn't have. I didn't have a dealer. Close that was right there. But I mean, our dealer with the fence is. I mean, that you can't go wrong on that. So but Klaus was one of those that turned around. I mean, it was between those two.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there's a guy at the Orchard Show up here who brought a Fendt. I mean, he took it to Grand Rapids as well. But I mean, they're offering 3 years warranty and a service on everything. You don't even touch it. They'll come out and do your oil changes. You don't even touch your tractor for 3 years.
That's the thing I like about it.
Yeah. Do you just buy a new one then when the 3 years is up? Just trade in. And that way you don't even have to be a mechanic at that point. Anybody could.
No, do you guys just have one setup right now?
Right now it's just one setup. Yeah. There's hopefully, I mean, in the future get into more setups, but that for right now the needs only one, and so that's where we're at on that. But yeah, the warranty part, that, I mean, you can't beat that.
Yeah.
I mean, that was one of the things that were like, something happens is like, hey, can you come out here? It's under these hours and we're good to go. So
have you had to call them in and they come out a reasonable amount of time and fix you right up?
So Plevna Implement Company, the company that I work with, is top notch, 100%. Like it's crazy. I mean, I've been 4 hours away, and they'll come usually within the next day and get it done. So wow.
You don't see service like that anymore without a real expensive call.
No, you don't. And like with that, I mean, it was even so. That was a conversation that we had, going into this was, hey, if I'm 4 hours away, like, are we going to be able to, like,
you're gonna get me some help?
Are you gonna get me some help? And they were like, yes.
Nice.
So like, and huge. So far it's been that, and that's
icing on the cake.
And even if it was, more out later in the hours and stuff like that, they went the extra mile.
Right.
So
well, that's good. That's, you keep a good relationship with them then. Yep. So obviously, apart from what the clips out, hopefully I'll be able to manage to get up here so they can see during the show. Where else can they find clips of your tractor and stuff? Because obviously this is probably going to spark some curiosity with some folks. Where can they see some more video of your?
You can see it on YouTube, Brush Tamer. You can see it on YouTube. You can see it on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram.
And your website is?
brushtamer.com or .net, something like that.
One of those. Either way, we'll get it in the description of the video so that anybody that's watching can go down below and click that. No, this has been super interesting, and the footage is awesome. I'm going to get as much of it out on the clips on TikTok and on YouTube as well, just so people can get their eyes on it. Because once you see the system and kind of, we've said multiple times about what that final product looks like on that ground after that last pass. There's nothing like it, especially if you don't have to do the cleanup and the time and the cost savings. So thank you very much again for coming in.
Thank you.
And making the trip up. This was awesome.
And if you have a project on land clearing, it's not like we only take certain land clearing projects. If you have something that you have questions about or whatever, I mean, people can feel free to call us or whatever. We'll do our best in trying and getting them the most efficient. I mean, there's times that I've told people, I said the tractor is not the most efficient. We all have budgets.
Right.
It's every customer has a budget. It's just that simple. So
Yeah.
Right.
give us a call, let us know, and we can see what we can do.
Awesome. Well, if nobody else has anything, I think this is a good place that we can call it an episode. And this is available anywhere you get podcasts at. We're on YouTube and Spotify on the video. You guys can check those out. You can check Leon and Brush Tamer out on all of those social medias that we mentioned and in the description down below. But if no one has anything else, thanks again for coming in, everybody. Everyone have a safe trip back. It's a little bit breezy out there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just a little bit breezy. It's windy. Let's just get that straight.
That lake wind, man. I tell you.
All right. Well, this has been great, and we'll catch everybody on the next episode of the Specialty Cropcast.
Awesome. Thank you.
Sounds good.